Part 41. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 412. The desert climate is so terrifying that even the Sandame Kaze cage is no exception. Because the Kaze cage is a human being too. Even if you can block all the enemy's attacks with sand and iron, you can't defeat nature. In order to prevent this from happening, you must drink some sweet tea during rest and repeat it mechanically. Even if you don't feel the changes in your body, you can still cope with it. This is how to survive in the desert for a long time. Next time you encounter an enemy, remember to continue collecting some. Uchiha Takano shook the tea leaves in the transparent bag with his hand, put it in his arms and put it away. This is the old driver of Hokage Mountain. His life experience and ninja qualities surpass those of ordinary ninjas. Yamashiro Momoji and Namashirai both felt like fools in front of Uchiha Takano. Ga! Uchiha Sexy Angel, you are such a good person. After Hinata drank the tea in one breath, he put away the teacup. Hee. Uchiha Takano sneered. I just don't want you to be played to death by Konoha's higher UPS too soon. The enemy of the enemy is the friend. Although Uchiha Takano did not agree with this sentence, he had to say that it had some truth. The top brass of Konoha are always targeting Uchiha. But if he could put an extra needle under the feet of the senior management, namely Hinata Hikari, then Uchiha Takano would be happy to do so. He saw potential in Hinata. This kind of psychopath, who doesn't play by the rules at all, will definitely cause a lot of trouble to some people. In this way, the other party will be forced to allocate some energy to deal with Hinata Hikari. This is why he turned back halfway and came back to help Hinata Hikaru. Uchiha Takano has a smart brain. As soon as Mumu Kongdeo spoke, he immediately thought of the cause and effect. So, he temporarily changed his strategy and decided to help Hinata Hikaru instead of returning to Konoha. Personal grievances are important, but family is more important. Although Uchiha Takano doesn't care about honor, he is not as angry as other Uchiha. But if he has a duty for the sake of his clan, he will not hesitate to stand up. Family strife, politics. These things that seemed extremely far away to ordinary ninjas, but to Uchiha Takano, they were like drinking water and eating, and experienced them all day long. Rich experience and sophisticated methods, this is the impression Uchiha Takano gave to his tribe. Good night everyone. After saying good night to the three of them, Hinata Hikaru fell asleep leaning against the rock wall. That cute little face has become tranquil, and her outline has become softer. Only now, she looks like a normal girl. The ones responsible for the night watch are Yamashiro Momoji, Namashibashi, and the two. They didn't do anything during the day, and they were full of energy, so naturally they came to watch the night. Silent all night. The next day, when a ray of sunshine appears on the horizon, it means that everyone's journey to the desert has reached the third day. The dazed Yamashiro Momoji, Namashibashi Kazu opened their eyes. It was almost early in the morning when they were called to bed by Hinata Hikaru. For the remaining few hours, Hinata kept vigil. Wow! The sound of running water? The sound of running water. Why is there water? The two looked at each other and stood up hastily. As soon as they rounded the rock, before reaching the other side, they saw Uchiha Takano standing there with a dull expression. What the hell? The two of them immediately trotted all the way, and then froze. On this cool morning before the sun rose, they saw a waterfall fell from the rock and hit the ground. The sound of rushing water came from here. The two of them rubbed their eyes vigorously to make sure they were not dazzled. Yes, there really is a waterfall there. But how is this possible? Yesterday it was obvious. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 413. In front of me is a piece of yellow sand. The four of them walked in the desert for a long time. They did not choose to go deep into the hinterland because doing so would be courting death. Not to mention the large number of running around Tsunagaku or Umbu or elite jounin that they may face, the mere appearance of ordinary jounin is enough for them to drink a pot. The four of them walked all the way from the north to the south. The battlefield between Konoha and Tsunagaku village is not just one battlefield, but several large defense lines, plus some small sentries, making up the entire war. Since the first line of defense was seen through by the enemy, the plan to attack the supply line was revealed. Then, just go to the rear of other battlefields and sneak attack other logistics troops. Anyway, the mission only said to cut off the enemy's supply line, but it didn't say which supply line. When the time comes, if you snatch the sealed supplies from the logistics force and bring them back, you will have successfully completed the task given by Konoha's top management. Your strength only relies on that sword to upgrade yourself to a special jounin. Without that sword, you are nothing. Uchiha Takano doesn't smoke now, because the smell of smoke can easily drift away in the wind and be noticed by enemies who may be passing by. He is using his venomous tongue against Hinata Hikari. Along the way, the two of them hurt each other, and they lost each other all the way. From cataracts and pink eye to the comparison of strength between the two sides. Then why don't you find a sword and increase your strength to a jounin? Hinata Guang asked with a calm face. Ga. This leader knows that your flaming sword cannot be used on ordinary ninja tools. It will turn into molten iron as soon as you use it. It's so stupid that it can't even enchant ninja tools. It's a B-level ninjutsu. Hinata nodded. Look at the fluctuations of this leader's murderous intention. Not only can he be enchanted, but he can also temper his ninja tools, and one day he can turn them into flying swords. Uchiha Takano smiled coldly, haha, you have a tough mouth. When the time comes when you meet the Tsunagaku or Murakunin, just don't cry. Quack. You are the one who wants to cry. After another round of mutual losses, Hinata Hikaru and Uchiha Takano stopped talking and continued on their way. Yamashiro Momiji, Namashibashi Kazuo kept wiping sweat from behind, and the corners of their mouths twitched. It was indeed true that Hinata scratched her head. Without the cloud sword, she would only be considered the strongest Shuyunin. Shuyunin is the limit. How to truly break through to a special jounin? Hinata Hikaru has some idea. One like Uchiha Takano, master the changes in nature and invent powerful ninjutsu. 2. Invented out-of-body technique. 3. Improve physical fitness. There is no doubt that the third option is the most stable. Because usually, the physical fitness of special jounin is stronger than that of chinin. The jonin, on the other hand, showed a crushing style, with all physical indicators developed. Needless to say, elite jonin and cage. However, Hinata's biggest problem is that she is only 9 years old now. In addition to waiting for the body to grow up slowly, the only thing I can do is to keep finding ninja tools with the smell of blood and suck them all the way. Then, let your body slowly adapt and keep up with the intensity of the fluctuations in killing intent. But the bloody aura contained in ordinary ninja tools can only increase the amount of Hyaga's chakra. Trying to find some precious ninja tools, such as the 7 ninja swords of the 7 ninja swordsmen, is nothing more than a dream. So overall, the second option is more reliable at the moment. Invent powerful physical skills to get rid of the embarrassing situation of having to rely on Yunliu's sword. As for level B water escape ninjutsu, it can only be used as a surprise attack and auxiliary attack. In fact, what Hinata is good at is physical skills. At least for now it's taijutsu. When the sun rose high in the sky, that is, at noon, the 4 people stopped. In a high-temperature environment of nearly 40 degrees, the stop was obviously not to bask in the sun, nor to dry out. Hinata Hikaru and 4 others discovered a caravan. This caravan is obviously heading towards the eastern edge of the Kingdom of Wind. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 414. Are you sure? Uchiha Takano asked again. Except for those who are cheating like Kage, Jinhuriki, and Kisame. For most ninjas, when they are not using chakra, the flow rate of chakra in their meridian seems to be about the same as that of ordinary people. Uchiha Takano doubted that Hinata Hikari could detect this subtle difference. Are you doubting this, leader? Hinata turned her head away and asked. The ferocious white eyes not only did not detract from her cuteness, but instead added a touch of heroism and majesty to her. Uchiha Takano raised his eyebrows, saying that I doubt you. What's going on? Hinata snorted. This leader has destroyed countless enemies. Do you think I haven't looked at these subtle changes and comparisons carefully? The disabled enemy returns to a normal human chakra maintenance level. Hinata relied solely on this vigorous and resolute method to gain judgment and experience that other Hyuga clan members did not have. She was very confident that the chakra of those dozen or so people was slightly different from that of ordinary people. In other words, the other party is a ninja. Without a ninja tool or anything else, it shouldn't be a possession technique. Yamashiro Momiji panicked. If these dozen people were carrying possession scrolls, wouldn't it be? Stop thinking nonsense. Do you think the possession spell can be performed that easily? Uchiha Takano frowned, and then suddenly looked into the distance. No need to guess, the other party has already discovered us. In the distance, on the twisted and hot land, a caravan of more than a dozen people stopped. Humph! Uchiha Takano smiled. This further confirmed his enemy's identity. What is a ninja if you can easily find their hiding place? What? Unlike Uchiha Takano and Hinata Hikaru, who were calm, Yamashiro Momiji, Namashibashi and Hikaru shouted directly. But then, they immediately shut their mouths. Because, beside the two of them, there are two big teammates. The next moment, those guys who were initially thought to be ordinary businessmen rushed towards the side at extremely fast speeds. Are we going to break up immediately? Uchiha Takano narrowed his eyes. This pretend caravan is undoubtedly preparing to enter the Kingdom of Fire. However, the discovery of Konoha's ninjas at the border of their own country naturally meant that the plan failed. They don't know how the ninjas of Konoha can predict the future, but since they are exposed, they will kill them all. Let's continue on the road. What should I do? Yamashiro Momiji forced herself to calm down, looking away from the dozen running figures and looking at Hinata Hikaru and Uchiha Takano. He just seemed to have spotted one in the enemy team. Oh! There is actually a Jounin, now we are in trouble. Uchiha Takano said in a calm tone that didn't bother him at all. Retreat. Namayashibashi Kazu suggested, looking a little winced. It was completely impossible for their team to deal with the Jounin. The next moment, Hinata Hikaru stood up and walked directly from behind the rock. Quack. Just destroy them all. Anyone who offends our country of fire will be punished no matter how far away they are. An aura of domineering power arose spontaneously, and Hinata Hikaru's figure was indescribably chic. However, this scene made Yamashiro Momiji, Tamashibashi, and Dai's eyes dull. They want to say. Hinata Hikaru. Hurry up and collect your magical powers. We know you are very capable, but the other party is a Jounin. Not a scumbag like a Jounin at all. Even if you run away now, it's too late. Uchiha Takano also walked out from behind the rock and ended his observation. For the first time, Yamashiro Momiji and the two saw a serious look on Uchiha Takano's face. The Jounin has already taken off his clothes. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 415. Swinging the sword again, he chopped down the kunao. The Tsunagaku or Murakunin raised his eyebrows. The first move that can block me is indeed an Uchiha. It's different from ordinary fish. His eyes moved to the sleeve emblem on Uchiha Takeno's arm, the symbol of the Uchiwa fan. On the other side, seeing the village Jonin stopping the most difficult Uchiha, the other Tsunagakuer village ninjas faced Hinata Hikaru with a ferocious smile on their faces. You actually sent a kid deep behind enemy lines. Is there no one in Konoha? You actually degenerated to the point of sending a child to the battlefield. After the two sides quickly approached, they saw the eyes under the goggles through Hinata Hikaru's goggles. White eyes. The expressions on the faces of the ninjas of Tsunagakuer village froze. Then, someone's face showed ecstasy. It's the Hyuga clan. White eyes. It's white eyes. Gao gaoed her white eyes. There are a lot of Byakugan in Konoha, so they don't look precious at first glance. However, only the shinobi villages from other countries that lack the Byakugan understand the importance of the Byakugan. Seeing through the meridians of the human body is the main function of the white eye. When the human body is affected by genjutsu, the chakra will be in chaos. At this time, just through the Byakugan, you can immediately detect the abnormality of the illusionist. Therefore, as long as you have the Byakugan, you can prevent the village from being disturbed by illusions. Especially the ruling class. What the ruling class fears most is that they or their colleagues will be manipulated by illusions. Having white eyes can fundamentally prevent this problem. This is why Konoha's top brass is not afraid of Uchiha, who is proficient in Sharingan Genjutsu. As long as the Hyuga clan is around, the Uchiha clan will not dare to use Genjutsu against the top brass of Konoha. In terms of maintaining the balance and stability of the village, the strategic significance of Byakugan is greater than its actual combat significance. The ninjas of Tsunagakuer village showed a mixture of fanaticism and ferocious expressions on their faces, and they all ran towards Hinata Hikaru as if they were beaten to death. To a certain extent, Hinata Hikaru has already received the greatest amount of ridicule without opening his mouth, and he is a qualified team battle tank. Quack. Good gift. You scumbags. Hinata smiled strangely, really wishing everyone would come towards her. In this way, she can clean up these scum alone. Seeing this scene, Uchiha Takeno couldn't help but not be anxious, but showed an inexplicable smile. Those who underestimate that little cataract psychosis will not end well in the end. Turning around, he chopped off a poisonous needle with his hand. Then, Uchiha Takeno jumped back to avoid the puppet's attack. The principle of fighting the puppet master of Sand Hidden Village is to stay away from the puppet and attack the main body. Because the puppet master is not good at close combat. However, Uchiha Takeno was unable to get close to the puppet master due to the interference of the flexible puppet. So he could only wait and wait for Hinata to deal with those miscellaneous fish. Haha. Is this the only level of Uchiha? Seeing Uchiha Takeno being defeated by him, the Tsunagakuer Murakami couldn't help laughing. The legend of the Uchiha clan is widely circulated in the ninja world, and almost everyone knows its reputation. Cho, who is the commander-in-chief of Tsunagakuer Village's contemporary puppet master force, a senior member of Tsunagakuer Village, and the elder of Tsunagakuer Village, once said that he would run away from Uchiha one-on-one. However, today I saw Uchiha isn't that good either. The Tsunagakuer Merjonin waved his hands continuously, and his chakra lines danced like a music conductor. Under his exquisite control, Uchiha Takeno could only dodge left and right. I want to hold myself back so that my companions can get a chance to attack, and then they can join forces to deal with me. This kind of strategy has been seen through long ago. In the mind of the Jounin of Tsunagakuer village, Hinata was just cannon fodder who would be hacked to death upon meeting him. After all, she is just a brat. What role can a little devil play? Seeing her rushing to the front excitedly, she probably. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 416. So, Yamashiro Momiji, Tamashibashi Kazu pretended to be serious, put away their black blades and tachi, and retreated back. Nanny. The guy wearing sunglasses and the guy with the black blade are actually stronger than this 10-year-old brat? Is it possible? Are they all special jounin, or even jounin? This idea came to every ninja in Tsunagakura village. As the saying goes, a war never tires of deceit. Hinata Hikaru's strategy of using a fox to pretend to be a tiger's power successfully put a lot of pressure on the enemy. While they need to be on guard against Yamashiro Momiji, Namashibashi, and the others, they also have to deal with Hinata Hikari. This difficulty. Before they could continue, the morale of the ninjas in Tsunagakura village had dropped a bit. Careful. She moved again. Brush. Hinata Hikaru's figure flashed, holding the Yunryu sword in his hand, and stabbed forward lightly. This move looks extremely ordinary, just a simple forward thrust. However, a strange scarlet light spread and wrapped around the Yunryu sword. The elite Shuyunin of Tsunagakura village looked horrified, and without any hesitation, he swung the sword in his hand and slashed at the cloud sword. Just now, he saw with his own eyes that the three companions ignored the strange blade and were knocked down by its tricky and weird attack trajectory. So, can't make the same mistake. We must stop that sword. Click. There was a crisp sound. In the face of the fluctuating murderous intent, the sword in Suna Ninja's hand was as fragile as glass and was directly bitten into pieces. Then, the unstoppable Yunryu sword continued to swing. With a scream, the right arm of the shinobi of Tsunagakura village flew into the sky, and Hinata Hikaru volleyed with his left palm. Killing intention fluctuation Bagua air palm, the enhanced version of Bagua air palm has stronger power. It consumes less chakra than Bangjang, and it specializes in treating the enemy's meridians. This is a move that can penetrate into the enemy's body, which is equivalent to the dark power in martial arts. The sand ninja, who was missing an arm, flew backwards and rolled on the ground several times before he could stop. With a snap, the severed arm fell to the ground, adding a strange blood flower pattern to the ground. 4 people. Hinata counted the number of defeated enemies in his mind and looked around at the others. Be careful. She's here again. A ninja from Tsunagakura village called. The next moment, Hinata Hikari rushed in front of him with a weird smile. Hinata Hikaru is very short. Every Suna ninja present is at least half a meter taller than Hinata Hikari. However, at this moment, her figure seemed unusually tall. In the eyes of the Tsunagakura village ninja, Hinata Hikaru, who was dressed in white and had white eyes, had transformed into a humanoid storm. Boom! Facing this enemy, Hinata slashed out with his sword. Killing intention fluctuation forward cut. Seeing the sudden red light, the ninjas of Tsunagakura village were immediately frightened. It was this weird red light that defeated the 4 companions. Subconsciously, he raised his right hand. In Hinata's slightly surprised gaze, this right hand showed a completely different scene from ordinary people. Stretch, deform. In the blink of an eye, his right hand turned into a shield. It's a prosthetic leg. In Sand Hidden Village, there are a large number of ninjas who are proficient in puppetry. These ninjas possess superb skills. They can not only create puppets and use toxins, but also transform the puppet's limbs into a prosthetic limb that can be used by humans. In this way, those companions who are missing arms or legs can enter the battlefield again. Obviously, the sand ninja in front of him was one of the wounded soldiers who had received prosthetic modifications. Block it, you must block it. The blue chakra light suddenly appeared, and the Yunryu sword suddenly collided. Boom! A shocking sound. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 417. Then, Before the broken arm fell to the ground, Hinata stopped spinning, stepped on his right foot, connected his body, and turned into 1,000 stars with one sword. This is how the Hyuga clan's soft fist Bagwazang is used. In the battle, Hinata Hikari became more and more skilled and mastered various moves. Taijutsu that would have been impossible in the past was combined and created by Hyuga light. Killing intent fluctuation Bagwa sword. Brush. After a burst of cold light, 5 armless enemies were stabbed through the scene gate and fell to the ground. 10 people. Hinata Hikari stood up with his sword raised. A team of 16 people was killed by Hinata in less than 5 minutes. 10 people were killed. Excluding the Jonin, Hikaru Hinata's opponents were still 5 people. He is no match and must escape. This thought flashed through the minds of several sand ninjas, and they turned around and ran away. Okay. Hinata Hikaru was about to pursue, but found that Uchiha Takano was retreating steadily, looking very embarrassed. After thinking for a moment, Hinata turned around and ran towards Uchiha Takano. The remaining 5 scumbags are left to you, Hinata said without looking back. Yamashiro Momiji, Namashibashi, and Ichibo, who had been pretending to be big-tailed wolves, were stunned, and then they hurriedly opened their legs and chased the enemy. The other side. Uchiha Takano was embarrassed to avoid the enemy's puppet attack. The difference in strength is revealed here. Even if the opponent is a puppet master who is physically weak and weak in melee combat, he is still a Jonin. As long as it is normal, a Jounin will never be defeated by a special Jounin. What's wrong? What's wrong? Is this the extent of the Sharingan? The Tsunagaku Jounin waved his fingers repeatedly, and under his exquisite control, the puppet continued to attack Uchiha Takano in various ways. Uchiha Takano relied on his Sharingan to dodge. If it weren't for these eyes, he might have died in the hands of this Jounin long ago. Uchiha Takano was in trouble and couldn't express it. If the enemy is a Chuyunin, he can spray out the enemy's puppet with a breath of fire. But unfortunately, the enemy is a Jonin. The Jounin's flexibility in controlling the puppet was beyond what a powerful fireball could hit. Moreover, this guy kept asking the puppet to use various long-range methods, not letting his flaming sword get close to him at all. The puppet jutsu, which is a ninjutsu that releases chakra threads from the hands, is only level C and consumes very little. In other words, the other party can spend a whole day with him. The Sharingan requires constant consumption of chakra, and the more chakra is used, the less chakra is used. Uchiha Takano had begun to pant. He is waiting for an opportunity. Uchiha Takano did not put all his cards on Hinata Hikaru. He has to wait until the ninja tool contained in the opponent's puppet is exhausted, and then he can. He. Do you think you can consume all the ninja tools hidden in the puppet and then get close? The Jounin of Tsunagaku village made a strange mockery. Daydreaming. Black secret skill reload. The opponent pulled with 5 fingers and the puppet flew back. Then, with a flick of his finger, a hatch-like mechanism was opened behind the puppet, and an unfolded scroll fell out. Obviously, ninja tools are obtained through constant channeling. Under Uchiha Takano's dull gaze, the Tsunagaku Jounin threw out a new scroll in a very pretentious manner. Flied into the puppet's back. With a click, the mechanism closed. Tap tat tat tat, the puppet started to work again, its mouth kept bumping up and down. Judging from its appearance, it seemed to be deliberately mocking Uchiha Takano. At this point, the new hidden weapons have been replenished. Nima. Uchiha Takano cursed. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 418. The puppet's mouth opened, its mechanism flicked, and 3 kunao in the shape of a Chinese character were shot out. Brush. The kunao broke through the sky and headed towards the sun. Then, at the moment when the kunao was fired, another group of kunao was shot out, and in the blink of an eye, an overwhelming rain of kunao formed. Konoha may be poisonous. Uchiha Takano gave a hint and prepared to defend himself against the enemy. However, Hinata took the initiative to take a step forward and clapped his right hand. Killing intention fluctuation collapsing palm. Click. Waves of killing intent emerged and condensed into a whirlpool, intercepting all Konoha and preventing them from entering. There was a clanking sound, and the Konoha fell to the ground before even a shot could penetrate. That strange ability. Tsunagaku or Murakami murmured. Could it be that this little brat from the Hyuga clan used this technique to block his poison cone hell? Does the Hyuga clan have this ability? Uchiha Takano's expression froze for a second, and then he took out his ninja bag. When his right hand came out of the ninja bag, there was a black pill. It's Bing Liang pill. Uchiha Takano swallowed it. Yes, when chakra is insufficient, why don't you use Bing Liang pills? Uchiha Takano was puzzled that some people like to pretend that they obviously have very little chakra, but they don't use Bing Liang pills until they die. In the end, there are many people who die of exhaustion because they don't have enough chakra, or they can't release their ultimate move because they don't have chakra and die of suffocation. Fortunately, he has a lot of chakra, and he uses the military food pills honestly. The reason why I didn't take any troops just now was because I was busy dealing with the enemy's offensive and it was too late. It's really a convenient ninjutsu. Uchiha Takano praised as he watched the gradually disappearing magic mirror ice crystals, while feeling the chakra in his body recover rapidly. But I have always had a question. Your ninjutsu consumes a lot of chakra. Yes, no matter how you look at it, this move is just a stupid way to release chakra until it solidifies. Ga. This leader's chakra is so vast, you can't compare. Hinata Hikaru said very proudly. Due to the absorption of the blood aura from the ninja tools, her chakra has already reached the Jounin level, and she can use it dozens of times with no problem. The next moment, the puppet master's attack was revealed again. Black secret skill mouth poisoning needle. It is still a mechanism that controls the mouth, but this time it shoots 3 poisonous needles in the shape of a Chinese character. The rate of fire is faster and the puppet itself is lighter. Under the control of the Jonin of Tsunagakuwa village, the puppet in the air began to rotate, spraying poisonous needles at the 2 people from different angles. This is the Jounin. After a little analysis, he starts to launch a surprise attack towards the flaw in the ninjutsu. That ninjutsu can block attacks from one side, but what about other positions? The Tsunagakuwa Jonin waved his arms and controlled the puppet to move irregularly. This move was indeed tricky, at least Hinata didn't continue to use Bang Palm. Other ninjutsu that require seals may not be used in time. Then, the only moves that can be relied on do not require sealing. Killing intent wave, soft fist technique, Bagwa sword. Hinata Guan clenched the Yunliu sword and stabbed continuously with the sword. Dots of red light left brilliant trails in the sky. Relying on Byakugan's excellent insight, poisonous needles from every angle are detected by Hyuga. Fortunately, these poisonous needles still have a sequence, rather than launching simultaneous impacts from all 360 degrees in an instant. Therefore, Hinata was still able to stab each set of poisonous needles with the Yunliu sword. With Hikaru Hinata as cover, Uchiha Takano felt much more relaxed. He jumped back repeatedly, and then prepared to take a detour to flank him and attack the Tsunagakuwa Jounin directly. Don't try to succeed. Tsunagakuwa Jounin obviously saw through Uchiha Takano's thoughts. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 419. Laugh. There was a cold feeling in the back, followed by a burning pain. There was no time to think about it, because a gust of hot air hit my face. It's Uchiha Takano. He finally seized the opportunity to go around and swung out the flaming sword, directly taking the opponent's head. He is about to burn the other party to ashes. Kaka kaka. A weird noise sounded at the same time. Hiss. Hinata's eyes widened, and the scene in front of her made her take a breath. It's not because Uchiha Takano attacked the opponent, but the puppet that she scattered was actually reorganized in an instant under the control of the puppet string. Transformers. Before Hinata Hikaru finished speaking, the puppet in front of him turned into smoke in an instant. Puppet replacement technique. The figure of the Tsunagaku or Merjonin was exchanged with the puppet in an instant. The main body came to Hinata Hikaru, but the puppet met Uchiha Takano. This is a special substitute technique that can only be used by the puppet masters of Sand Hidden Village. Just like Deodara instantly swapped places with his clay clone, this Tsunagaku or Murakujonin swapped places with his own puppet. At this moment, the Tsunagaku or Murakunin finally saw clearly the guy who tore a wound on his back. A shadow between illusion and solidity. Hikaru Hinata's crimson clone. At the same time, Uchiha Takano's flaming sword chopped off his head. Boom! The roar of flames, however, was firmly blocked by the chakra shield opened in the puppet's left hand. B-level ninjutsu, machine light shield. The churning flames could not move a step beyond the shield. This non-attribute ninjutsu shows its power at this moment. Killing intention fluctuation Ba Guakong Palm. After recovering from the surprise of the puppet's reorganization, Hinata slapped the opponent with the palm. Boom! Scarlet light shines like a ray on the back. The ninjas of Tsunagaku village who had just escaped could only continue to flee in embarrassment. Boom! The sand exploded, countless sand flew into the sky, and a deep palm print was imprinted into the ground. Immediately, it was covered by the surging yellow sand. Oh! An idea flashed through his mind, and Hinata Hikaru, who had a great imagination, came up with a new palm technique. Combining the grass shadow style and explosive palm with the Bagua Kongjang, that is, killing intent fluctuation 18 dragon subduing palms. Boom boom boom. Hinata opened his bow from left to right and struck out with one palm, one after another. There are palm shadows all over the sky, explosions all over the sky, and red light all over the sky. Cluck. Hinata Hikaru seemed to find this very funny, and didn't feel nervous at all about facing an enemy in battle. A flush of excitement appeared on her cute little face. In just a few seconds, Hinata took more than 18 palm shadows. Tsunagaku or Murakami couldn't bear the pain. He could only do somersaults on the ground crazily, one after another. Finally, Hinata stopped releasing his nervous palm skills and looked at the destruction caused in front of him with great satisfaction. At this moment, she felt like a martial arts master. The Tsunagaku or Merjonin, whose body was covered with yellow sand, opened his eyes angrily and stared at Hinata Hikaru. The puppet protected him in front of him, blocking enemies who wanted to attack. At the same time, it blocked the sun and made his face look extremely gloomy. To be so embarrassed by a kid. The smile on Tsunagaku or Murakami's face tightened, and his ferocious expression seemed to choose someone to devour. The wound on my back was still burning. Fortunately, the guys in Konoha are not good at using poison, otherwise, this blow would be enough for him. Uchiha Takano and the Crimson Clone were rushing towards the side quickly. The Tsunagaku or Murakuin Jounin didn't even look at them and directly danced his puppet and took off into the air. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 420. It can also be seen from here how terrifying his body temperature is now. Snapped. Uchiha Takano stretched out his hand, and his illusory flame arm grabbed the cloud sword that flew back. In an instant, Yunliu's sword became like a piece of red-hot iron. Hey! That's my leader's weapon. As Senbonsumi stopped, Hyuga Hikaru removed the magic mirror ice crystal. It rained and it was fine. That cute little face was full of anxiety. As long as you have normal eyesight, you can clearly see how high the temperature of Uchiha Takano's flames is. Yunliu's sword was held in his hand. Why should he melt and die on the spot? Haha, let me lend you my sword. Uchiha Takano's face changed slightly. Even if it turned into flames, the sarcastic expression on that face was still clearly discernible. In other words, he was deliberately angry with Hikari. The next second, Uchiha Takano started running quickly. A human form made of pure flames, incredibly fast. It was a bit faster than the last time I saw Hinata Hikaru. Perhaps because of the Bing Liang pills he had swallowed earlier, the flames were also very strong. No, it's also possible that the desert terrain has a temperature bonus. As we all know, releasing water escape ninjutsu in the desert will only get twice the result with half the effort. The opposite is true for releasing fire escape ninjutsu. In other words, Uchiha Takano successfully took advantage of the terrain. When he saw a human figure turned into flames rushing toward him, he would be lying if he said he was not afraid. Don't come over here. For the first time, a horrified expression appeared on Tsunagaku Murakami's face. But how could Uchiha Takano listen to him humming? Hinata also moved. Of course, she cared more about her cloud sword than the sand ninja. She has worked hard and tempered for such a long time. Wouldn't it be a big loss if she was transformed by the sexy angel of Uchiha? Return the sword to this leader. Hee. Your good-natured Uchiha Takano just laughed mockingly. She was eager to recite the sword, so Hinata Hikaru, who had always been fishing, finally showed her true strength at this moment. In other words, Uchiha Takano took this opportunity to prevent Hinata Hikari from fishing anymore. His legs ran quickly, and Hinata Hikaru's figure turned into an after-image. The red light flashed on the solace of his feet, showing that he had used all his strength. At this moment, Hinata's speed was actually about to catch up with the flaming Uchiha Takano. Ta-ta-ta! The puppet screamed, trembled, and danced with all its organs, trying to stop Uchiha Takano. Uchiha Takano is indeed not afraid of puppet hidden weapons, but if the enemy shoots through his flame body, his movement will be hindered. This is also the drawback of the flame body technique. As long as the attack continues, Uchiha Takano will be pinned in place and unable to move. Stop fishing! Hinata Hikari! Uchiha Takano shouted after splitting a group of kunao with one sword. Hinata was stunned and immediately looked at the puppet. Killing intent waves Bagua explosive palm. Hinata opened his bow from left to right and shot countless red palm shadows. Target Tsunagaku Jonin. Hateful. Tsunagaku Murakami gritted his teeth and could only control the puppet to block in front of him. The sound of explosions was endless. After using it for the second time, Hinata became much more familiar with Hikari's techniques. Integrate the advantages of grass shadow style and explosive palm into Bagua Kongjang. What is formed is an explosive palm technique. The red light kept exploding, and the puppet made of wood turned out to be terrifyingly hard. After more than 10 palms in a row, only tiny cracks can be seen. Hinata Hikaru had to guess, were those woods specially made? Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 421. The Tsunagaku Murakami spit out a mouthful of blood and flew backwards in embarrassment. Uchiha Takano's cooperation worked. Without the puppet, Hinata can rely on his Byakugan to locate and accurately hit the puppet master himself. This move of Bagua Kong Palm hit the opponent's abdomen from a distance. Even Jounin cannot exercise his internal organs and meridians. The chakra chunks penetrated from the acupuncture points on the surface of the body, entered the abdomen, and messed up the opponent's view. This change was not only visible to Hinata Hikaru, but the Jounin of Tsunagaku village could also obviously feel it. Power is disappearing. This caused him extreme panic. As a Jounin, his knowledge reserve is naturally higher than that of a Chunin, because this is also one of the indicators for promotion to a Jounin. the legend and reputation of the Hyuga clan, and the damage done to the human body by Soft Fist. This fear made him subconsciously pour the last chakra he could summon into the puppet's right arm. The puppet's right arm, which was restrained by the puppet's string, had some changes. Like a flower blooming, the mechanisms on his right arm unfolded layer by layer, revealing several talismans attached to it. Ninjutsu, thousand hands, and martial arts. With blood spilling from the corner of his mouth, the Tsunagaku or Murakunin launched his final trick. Boom! All the spells exploded together, and countless puppet arms suddenly erupted from them. It is similar to the psychic technique of lightning sword transformation. This move will channel all the puppet arms sealed in the spell together. Each blasted arm has sea-level lethality. 1,000 arms are released at the same time, which can even be compared to A-level ninjutsu. If you imagine the real 1,000 arms between the Senju pillar, you will know how terrifying it would be to have all the 1,000 arms appear. Although this is just a smaller version of ninjutsu, its lethality cannot be underestimated. At least, it is something that the current daylight cannot withstand. Boom! 1,000 hands attacked at the same time, like the wrath of Shura. As for Uchiha Takano, because he released the strongest slash, all his chakra was consumed, so the flames were extinguished and he returned to his original body. Ding! Yunliu's sword fell to the ground. The powerless Uchiha Takano stared at the scene blankly. He was so exhausted that he even closed his Sharingan. Therefore, the movements of the 1,000 puppet arms are completely unclear. The sun is overwhelming. He didn't expect that the enemy actually had this attack hidden in his mind. Yes, he should have noticed long ago that the puppet's right arm has never shown any power. The killer move must be hidden inside. Unfortunately, there is no if in this world. This is Jounin. It's not something you can defeat with just a lot of effort. Special Jounin or something like that is completely useless. Just like when he faced Uchiha Hwaki, he was as powerless. Are you going to die? At this last moment, Uchiha Takano felt unusually calm. So he is a very un-Uchiha Uchiha. Damn it, I really want to smoke another cigarette. Uchiha Takano calmly accepted the reality of death. However, a certain Hyuga Hikaru's super psychosis is not acceptable. Gaga, what a gorgeous move. Hinata's weird laughter sounded. Facing the overwhelming 1,000 arms that were impossible to dodge, she actually smiled. Not only was he laughing, but he was also extremely excited. B-level peak attack comparable to A-level. With her current level, she couldn't fight against him. But so what? Since you can't resist with 200% of your strength, then use 300% or percent. Having absorbed the bloody aura of nearly 2 ninja tools, Hikari's chakra was not only vast, but also very terrifying. It was just unbearable, so Hyuga Hikaru maintained the level of his chakra release at a stage that was in balance with the body's strength. The consequence of excessive release of chakra is that the body is broken. In other words, this is the same as the 8-gate Dunjia, a killing move that involves risking one's life and injuring the enemy by 1,000, but also damaging oneself by 800. Let's see. Hinata Hikaru suddenly raised his right hand and clenched his fist. Uchiha Takano and Tsunagaku or Murakuin looked over subconsciously. Her right hand flashed. Red light. It's like the explosion of a star, or the beginning of the universe. Nani's unusual behavior made the shinobi of Tsunagaku village startled. But as soon as he thought that his last killing move was comparable to an A-level ninjutsu, he couldn't help but sneer in triumph. In his opinion, Hinata Hikari was just dying. This damn kid actually dared to hurt himself. Then her end will be to be beaten to a pulp by Qianshu Cao Wu. Uchiha Takano also showed surprise on his face. Could it be that? What other hidden tricks does Hinata Hikari have? But, so what if there are hidden moves? She didn't have the Yunliu sword in her hand, so she couldn't use the power of the sharp weapon to unleash B-level powerful physical skills. After all, she was just a Chuyunin, how could she withstand a full blow from a Jounin? You've worked hard. Uchiha Takano thought easily. But Hinata Hikaru obviously doesn't think he needs to give up. This hand roars with victory. Hinata Hikaru was full of energy, staring at his right fist. Hot like fire, bright red like blood. Every time she shouted, the red light on her fist became brighter. The Eastern style is undefeated. The East is stained red with blood. The red light enveloped the earth in an instant, and everyone's eyes were shrouded in bright red. Whether it's Uchiha Takano or Tsunagaku or Murakunin. Even Yamashiro Momiji, Namashibashi Kazuo finally managed to deal with the 5 deserters. Everyone looked at this amazing scene, and their vision was filled with red light. This is a move from Gundam G Battledon. The scene from watching this wonderful cartoon in the previous life came to mind again, and Hinata seemed to have returned to those days. Happy emotions, imitating the precious childhood of shouting out moves in cartoons. Medium, but powerful enough. Thoughts of strength, emotion, and belief. Snapped. Blood vessels burst and skin shredded. Not enough. Hinata continued to increase the output of chakra, absorbing the qualitative changes in chakra caused by countless spiritual energy, and was guided out of her body. The red light was so prosperous that even she couldn't see clearly. Look at the shocking moves. Boom. The red beam inspired billions, and unrivaled chakras swept in all directions. Hinata Hikaru punched out a punch called the Shipposhin Shocking Fist. From Tsunagakuwa village, the most powerful killing move unleashed by Jonin is the 1000 puppet arms called Senjutsu. Explode. In just an instant, the 1000 puppet arms scattered into countless pieces of wood and sawdust. The front area, which was soaked in red light in the air, was completely enveloped in a terrifying storm. Wow! The storm swept across. Tsunagakuwa Jonin was blown away by the storm in an instant, just like a poor boat thrown into the whirlpool of the sea. He was blown dozens of meters out in an instant, and he didn't know where he went in the blink of an eye. Tianjin HTT